Welcome to Terror in Tandem, a podcast about finding entertainment in the macabre, hosted by the knowledgeable and lovable Laura and Richard Mathiasen. Each episode, we discuss the horror genre, from books to film to TV and beyond. Sometimes, even from the beyond. You can find us online at terrorintandem.com and on Instagram at terrorintandem.
Hi, what the heck was that voice?
I mean,
wow.
What voice? That's just how I talk.
No, the early part was like a body news reporter.
Body news reporter. It's how I've always wanted to be described. You know, burlesque dancer by night,
You were
truth
like,
seeker during the day.
hello, my
Welcome,
geeks and goons.
welcome, ghouls and goblins.
It was very performative.
Dr. Demento style.
Dr. Demento.
We just watched Weird, everybody, and
We did.
It's really,
oh my god, it's so good.
if you have an even passing like of Weird Al Yankovic, watch this movie. It's fantastic.
If you have any
Soul at all inside of you. If you're able to feel things.
No, if you just have a great sense of humor, like silly, you're looking for something really silly and fun and light and harmless and just total farce.
I can't imagine a more perfect movie about Weird Al Yankovic than the one I just watched.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about Weird Al.
No. Although
we're here
I could.
to talk about what we're looking forward to in December. It's our December X.
Hello, welcome to December. It's almost the end of the year, and it's officially Hygge season.
Yeah.
I
think it's always Hygge season.
love being cozy. I love being cozy. I just want to be wrapped up and swaddled. I want my drinks to be warm. I want coziness, and then horror movies on the telly. That's it. It could be raining, snowing, it'd be fucked up outside. Just swaddle me up and put something disturbing on the TV.
Well, some of these will be on your TV, and some of these might be in the theater.
Some of these might be in your hands.
They might be. So
Not going to tell you where else to put them. That's up to you.
as we do every month, we're going to give you, some upcoming recommendations for the month.
Some stuff to enjoy over the
December
holidays.
is a little light with new horror.
It is. I mean, listen, we're all kind of hoping to take a little bit of a break, and, that's fine. It's a light month. There's plenty to catch up on.
Yeah. So, take all of our recommendations as just recommendations. Do your own research and maybe go through some of our prior recommendations, because many of those will be streaming as we speak.
Yes. And we are planning to, am I allowed to say this? To revisit them
Yeah,
at the end of the year in a little special episode.
absolutely.
Yeah, special sode. So, December. What is December?
Oh, no.
Oh, we're done?
Yeah.
We did that? I'm going to miss you. R.I.P. bit.
Really?
December
is the 12th
Nah,
month.
it's okay. You said it was done.
The person who's co-hosting, its birthday happens to fall.
This is true. This
In
is
this
true.
month?
It's an important month because it marks the birth of humanity's number one person, my co-host, in December.
So why don't you start with your first recommendation of December?
Why not? My first recommendation in December is a video game.
Wow.
Perfect for those dark, cold December nights. I'm talking about Choo Choo Charles, which, by the way, it's being developed by Two Star Games. Two Star Games, how did you get into my literal dreams and make this game? It's coming out for PC December 9th. Now, it is described as an open-world survival train simulation game. Now, essentially what it is you control a train. You travel around this weird island. You meet people. You gather materials to upgrade your train. And always in the background, there is the threat of Choo Choo Charles. Now, when Choo Choo Charles makes an appearance, it is absolutely the stuff of goddamn nightmares. Choo Choo Charles is like Thomas the Tank Engine. If Thomas the Tank Engine... Well, I was going to say if it was evil, but I mean more outwardly, obviously evil instead of the beneath the surface evil that we all know exists. My eyes are on you, Thomas. I know you're up to something. But Choo Choo Charles is like got spider legs and it's hideous and you can't kill it. You just have to run from it basically. So it's going to be stalking you. And I think it's a lot of choices of like, elements of survival game, like how vulnerable do I leave myself to get this valuable resource that could help me later? But if I go any further from the train, Choo Choo Charles might eat me. It looks awesome. It looks very scary. And I'm a sucker for
very
games
nightmarish.
I'm a sucker for games that require like a little bit of micromanaging. Like you have to manage your resources and make difficult decisions. You don't just get to be God mode. Like I enjoy a game with a challenge that keeps you striving to improve.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Dark Souls games. They're punishing, but worth it. Anyway, Choo Choo Charles on December 9th. It's going to be available on the PC, I think through Steam. I'm looking forward to this one.
So my first recommendation is called A Wounded Fawn. And really, it's a recommendation for you because I think this is a movie that you'll want to watch.
I appreciate that.
It's streaming on Shudder December 1st. And it's, I believe, directed by Travis Stevens.
Okay.
Who did Jacob's Wife, which I think you've mentioned previously.
Yeah, with Barbara Crampton.
Yeah.
He directed that? Oh, that's awesome. I actually really like that movie.
And the actress Sarah Lind is also from Jacob's Wife, is in this movie as well.
Yes, that's awesome. Oh, so cool.
This film premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival and went on to Fright Fest London and Fantastic Fest.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The film is said to be inspired by surrealist art and Greek mythology. It follows the story of Meredith, a museum curator who's starting dating again, and a charming serial killer played by Josh Rubin from Werewolves Within.
They're so charming.
Yeah, and
they're all so charming.
They go on a romantic getaway, a cabin in the woods, and then it just becomes like a cat and mouse game. He gaslights her like crazy. She tries to compartmentalize.
What if we lived in a world where cats and mice played fun games with each other? So a cat and mouse game meant like, chutes and ladders or like cards.
Well, why I think you would like this is because it looks like a nightmare. It has very surrealist art and imagery.
I was surprised to
this
hear
is
you
a
recommend
recommendation
it
for you
until you said that. Yes, now it makes perfect sense.
So visually, this is definitely something that you're going to watch, and I will hear about.
So fans for horror that may be a bit more hallucinatory, maybe a bit stylish. It's made, from what I understand, quite an impression on everyone who's seen it.
Yeah, so. That's why I'm recommending it. It's because I know it wasn't on your list, and I wanted to make sure that it got on your list.
Hell yes. There's a lot out there, y'all. We're just two
although
people.
I probably will
with
not
many properties.
Be very interested in it. I did think it was worth a mention because it has been well received.
You're allowed to like what you like, everybody.
Absolutely.
My next one is also on Shudder, December 16th, and I'm talking about The Apology.
Oh,
this
yeah,
one.
I wanted to recommend this one.
Oh, really? I'm sorry.
No, I knew you were going to.
I am.
Because this is the one that I'm really looking forward to.
Then we have to watch it together because
Obviously.
I'm super jazzed to see this. It is... Okay, so it's the feature debut of director Alison Locke. Now, the cast has Anna Gunn, who you might recognize from
Breaking Bad,
then the American version of Broadchurch. Just a fantastic actor.
She is.
Linus Roach, who very memorably played the cult leader in Mandy. And Janine Garofalo, who you might remember from the 90s.
Well, she's been in a lot.
I know. I'm just being a jerk. Love Janine Garofalo, honestly. So, this movie is essentially Anna Gunn plays a character who lost her daughter about 20 years ago. She is a recovering alcoholic. did not handle the loss well, and she's inviting family over to her house for the first time in a long time to, I guess, try to move forward. Heal those wounds. Now, Linus Roach plays the brother-in-law who shows up uninvited with a bunch of stuff from their past. Some of this is delightful. Then things seem to take a turn. Now, Linus Roach is somebody who doesn't usually get cast as a nice person. So, but he does, I will say, he looks much more like cleaned up in this movie than he usually does.
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like a very tense family drama that takes place, in a single location in this cabin, with an excellent cast, and just there's much more than meets the eye.
Yeah.
A lot more going on, but through the very relatable, very accessible lens of dealing with a complicated family over the holidays.
Right.
Which is itself often a horror movie.
It certainly can be.
So December 16th, I'm really looking forward to it because I just, small in scale, but with a cast really, really made for this kind of story. And I just want to see them flex and do what they do.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah. Also, maybe Alison Locke could be the next big thing. And I love hopping on to a new director right at the start of their career. It's always so exciting. I mean, Robert Rodriguez is doing Star Wars movies now. That shit's crazy.
You will get hop-ons.
You're going to get some hop-ons.
My next recommendation is Violent Night.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to this one.
Coming out December 2nd.
Okay.
It is a Santa movie, so it's a Christmas movie.
Oh, that sounds lovely.
It's a Christmas thriller, action, murder movie.
Oh.
It's starring David Harbour from Stranger Things.
Everyone's
as
favorite
Santa.
Hellboy. Everyone's favorite Hellboy. There's no controversy with that.
And so it's directed by Tommy Wirkola.
Yeah.
And he basically, David Harbour plays a cynical, grumpy Saint Nick. He's jaded and a young girl in his life who still believes in the magic of Christmas gets David Harbour to jump into action because her family, she and her family, are being held hostage by Mr. Scrooge, played by John Leguizamo.
I knew it.
So it's a new Christmas movie, but it's a horror thriller action movie.
Brought to you by the creator and director of Dead Snow.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be bloody.
It's going to be rad.
It's going to be very moment to moment, really quick paced, a different type of horror movie.
It looks very much like a Tommy Wirkola film. Very dark humor, but also super violent.
It's for those that still ask the question, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And this answers the question. Yes.
Are people still asking that?
Yes.
Those sad, poor people.
So David Harbour said that, he's not much of a Christmas guy. And he really came at this, playing this role as, why do we idolize this big, jolly dude coming down a chimney?
Oh, yeah.
Why are we always talking about Santa and thinking
like it's a good thing?
He's saving Christmas Day. And so he came at it in that way, also with a sledgehammer, because I think that's this tool of choice.
I mean, I love it when you, as an adult, start to deconstruct the fables of your childhood. Recently, one of the reasons I really enjoyed Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson's version of the Batman was they played Batman like a psycho.
Yeah, and I think
I think probably what a real life Batman would be.
I think there's going to be a lot of Christmas themed murders in this, like,
Oh
kills
yeah,
in this
like
movie
using Christmas decorations in creative
to
ways.
impale you
Definitely.
with a candy
For
cane.
those of you wanting to see someone get electrocuted by Christmas lights, and I count myself among you.
It has like a similar vibe to like if Bad Santa was a vigilante murderer.
Home Alone with slightly less violence.
Yeah, so I think it's answering the hole in the Christmas genre of movies.
It's been a few years.
Yep.
Yeah, but you know what?
We're going to get into that in another
Spoiler
episode.
alert. So why don't we take a quick break? Then we can
Wrap it up
and talk maybe briefly
with a bow
about our
of December
upcoming plans.
Curious how to stock your shed with the tools that get the job of hunting, chasing, and terrorizing done? Do you dream of hacking out those pesky camp counselors at the lake? Do you have an unrelenting passion for revenge? Well, when your old standard kitchen knives and carving tools won't do, it's time to head down to Uncle Jason's Knives and Blades. Never sharpened, but always sharp, Uncle Jason's specialty killing tools will slice through all of those in your path without effort or exhaustion. You can choose from a variety of tools, rusted and weighted for your specifications. Intimidate onlookers, trespassers, and unsuspecting travelers alike with our custom tool display boards. Whether in your basement or shed, our discreet teams will come in and transform your space into its terrifyingly best. Head over to County Route 24, turn left at the no trespassing sign, and head into the barn and talk to one of our specialists. At Uncle Jason's Knives and Blades, we will fulfill our promise of only the most sinister and menacing knives and blades around. So come on down. This is a fake ad for a fake product and a horror-themed podcast. We do not condone nor endorse killing people with fancy custom weapons we made in your shed. And we're back.
Oh, we sure are. Not like
So
we
what's
left.
your last recommendation for the month?
Oh, my last one is right in front of me because I'm extremely well prepared. It is called The Pale Blue Eye, directed by Scott Cooper.
Christian Bale,
Yes.
everyone.
Now, this is coming out December 23rd in theaters, so I am cheating slightly because in January it's going to be released on Netflix. It is a Netflix production. Now, Scott Cooper most recently directed Antlers, which I
like that a lot.
I did, but it frustrated me slightly in that I don't believe it lived up to the potential of the writer, the director, and the story.
Here to yuck yums.
I'm just saying it was solid. Perhaps my expectations were a little high, but I'm very excited to see his next movie because Scott Cooper's undeniably talented and has a wonderful eye.
Yep.
So The Pale Blue Eye is actually
Speaking
the
of
second. It's the second movie this year to do this trope of telling a fictionalized story of a younger Edgar Allan Poe. So in the movie, Harry Melling, who you might recognize as good old Dudley Dursley from the Harry Potter films.
Oh,
well, he's all
right.
grown up now because, sorry to tell you, that was 20 years ago, guys.
Oof.
Yikes. So, yeah, he plays a young Edgar Allan Poe who at this point in his life was a cadet at West Point Academy. There is a murder. And Christian Bale's character is like a grizzled, old investigator, veteran type, is hired to go. He teams up with the inquisitive and brilliant deductive mind of Edgar Allan Poe and, much more than meets the eye, yada, yada, yada. It's got quite a cast. In addition to Christian Bale and Melling, we've got Charlotte Gainsborough, Timothy Spall, also from Harry Potter, Robert Duvall, Gillian Anderson.
Wow, that's quite a cast.
For sure. It takes place in 1830. Bale's character's name is Augustus Landor, which is pretty cool. It is based on the book by Louis Bayard. And Howard Shore does the music, so it's going to sound great. It's going to look great. It's got an amazing cast. Pretty cool idea. A murder mystery, supernatural type movie, period piece with Christian Bale and everybody else. Honestly, I hope it works. I really do. Raven's Hollow is the other film that came out this year. It's on Shudder. I haven't seen it yet, but that's another fake story featuring like a young Edgar Allan Poe. And I guess the conceit is these experiences would later inform his writing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. The Pale Blue Eye.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that
I
too.
wonder, to be honest with you, is this the first horror movie Christian Bale has been in since American Psycho?
You should have answered that question offline.
There are definitely
told us whether or not that's the
There are definitely
case.
elements of the Scarecrow and the Joker in the Dark Knight trilogy that are horrific, but in terms of straight up horror, I think may have been 2003. American Psycho was his last straight up horror movie. So, gotta be honest, welcome back.
Yeah. Well, I'm very excited to see it.
Same Z's.
My last recommendation is a short story collection.
Oh,
called
wonderful.
The Best Horror of the Year.
Okay.
Volume
yeah.
14. This comes out on December 20th, which is a very exciting day.
It's an incredible day of the year.
Ellen Datlow put together this horror anthology. And
Thanks, Ellen.
she's been doing this for 4 decades. So this is volume 14. And she brings to you the best short stories in horror for the year. So instead of going out and reading authors that you may or may not know if you like or not.
In this economy?
This is a great way to get an idea on whether or not you're going to like the author. If you don't, you can just skip that.
That's literally my favorite thing about an anthology.
Yeah.
And films as well, anthology films, is if there's a segment or a story that you really dig, then you go down that creator's rabbit hole and suddenly there's like 10 new books or movies to watch that you hadn't.
Yeah, you
known
might
of
find
before.
1 or 2 authors that you would not have heard about.
Yes.
That might give you an idea into the author that you want to explore more. Maybe they have longer form fiction or nonfiction, or maybe they also have more short stories that you are interested
It's
in.
a great thing to recommend to newbies, especially because it's very low investment. All you really need to do is read a short story. You're not there's no so much of pop culture. I feel like there's a learning curve to it nowadays, where you have to almost study a bit in order to follow along. And an anthology is a great way to dip your toe in.
Yeah, so you can check out. I think there's probably like 20 some odd short stories, and they range from a variety of short story and long form authors. And this, like I said, has been a horror collection every year. You can, I'm sure, find it online, but easily get it out of the library.
Imagine how much work that is to curate.
Yeah.
How many stories she has to read each year. And look, I'm just going to be honest. How many crummy stories she probably has to read.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh.
But every collection features really exciting authors. Some authors that have been featured have been, from the past iterations, and who fully endorse this collection is Stephen King, Neil Gaiman,
Who?
Joyce Carol Oates, Stephen Graham Jones, who I'm going to have a best of the year recommendation from.
Nice.
And so
Joyce Carol Oates wrote one of the scariest books I've ever read, which was Zombie.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God, it's so scary. So I think that you should maybe check this out to see if there are any writers there that entice you.
That sounds awesome.
And maybe we'll feature an author from this anthology down the road.
So that sounds amazing. This is late notice because I literally just found out about it. To anybody in the area or able and willing to travel to Estes Park, Colorado, from December 1st through 3rd, there will be at the Stanley Hotel. Now, as we all know, the Stanley Hotel, a.k.a. the Overlook Hotel, The inaugural Bruce Fest is being held, which sounds like a real groovy time, featuring the Chin himself, Bruce Campbell, and Ted Raimi. It's going to be a couple of days of staying at the Stanley Hotel with Bruce Campbell, watching his movies, playing games, doing stuff. I don't know. It sounds like a celebrity cruise type thing, but at a hotel.
Yeah.
If you are in the area and want to hang out with Bruce Campbell, go. I went when Bruce Campbell wrote his autobiography, If Chins Could Kill, I went to a book signing of his, and he spoke for about a half an hour, and it was one of the funniest, most just wonderful experiences of my life. I will always remember it. He was very generous with his time with the fans, but also like doing that very Bruce Campbell thing of making fun of everybody in a way that was hilarious and did not hurt anyone's feelings. I mean, he's Bruce Campbell. So all that is to say, I wish I could go. I totally recommend it if you're in the area. December, look it up, Bruce Fest. I can't imagine it's not going to be interesting. And who wouldn't want to see like Maniac Cop and Evil Dead with Bruce Campbell around? That sounds cool.
Absolutely. I'm sure it's going to be so rewarding and like just so much fun, like hilarious.
Let your
hilarious
freak flag
fun.
fly and go to Bruce Fest.
Yeah, why not?
Groovy.
Just another mention of, what as we are getting to the end of the 2022 year. 2022 year.
Yeah, 2020 plus 2.
Right. As we approach the end of 2022, we just here at Terror in Tandem wanted to let you know that we're going to continue content.
You can't stop us.
And for December,
keep sending those petitions. I don't care.
Not only are we going to talk about our favorite horror that we experienced, either read, watched,
whether or not we recommended it.
Yeah. We're going to wrap up a year. We're going to have a year-end wrap-up of our favorites. And then we're also going to do some hits and misses from our monthly recommendations. So
we're not perfect. Listen, I'm going to lay it out there. Some of the stuff I recommended did not work.
And that will go on his ever-long miss
Not
list.
my permanent record. No.
But we want to wrap that up as well and talk about, what we hit with and what we missed with.
Yeah.
And what maybe we didn't get to.
And little secret, maybe there might be something holiday themed coming along.
Yeah, we even might throw in a bonus ode or two.
Oh, interesting.
So,
very Krampus knocked, everyone.
We hope you enjoyed this monthly recommendation.
Yes,
Again, it's
stay
a little
warm.
lean in the old horror department. So catch up on those recommendations before we get to our hits and miss episode.
With the days being dark and cold, this is the perfect moment to go through your shameful back catalog. If you're anything like me, you spent most of the year making lists of things instead of watching them. Now you actually have to read those books.
So take a watch, take a listen, take a read, take a knee.
We'll see you next week.
Bye. Terror in Tandem is written, produced, and recorded by Laura and Richard Mathiasen, and edited and mixed by Richard Mathiasen. Our theme was written and performed by Carrie Denver, and all other music was written and performed by David Hispanic. All opinions expressed on this podcast are our own and should be taken as such. Thanks for listening, and please remember to give us a like, a review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. We're still